It's week 7. We talking about sports is back. It's still 10-ish. It's still 10-ish. We made it before 11. We're here. We're ready to go. It's all 4 of us. It's a full squad. How's everybody doing this morning?
I'm not even gonna lie, I'm sad as fuck.
How we thought.
God, so bad. Not only am I super hungover, but my Dodgers fucking blew it yesterday. Our season's over. There's no MLB left for me. I'm done. So good thing I have football on the boys.
Hey, you gave up on the boys week 1 also, Ron. So you got the Bengals. You got the Bengals. We're doing good, man, out here in Austin, going to the soccer game here after we pod. I know Roland's out here too. And then we got big game hunting with the Bills and Chiefs at 3:25. So excited for today. Excited for today, guys.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
All right. Well, Ron, I think we have something to intro today, right? This episode's brought to you by somebody special today. What's the word on that?
Yes, man. We got our very first sponsor. So shout out to a really good friend of all of us, mission veterans, alumni like you boys over there, starting his own business. So you guys need to go check this guy out for sure. Hell of a dude. And here we are, man, with our debut.
Get in top grade shape with Top Grade Physical Therapy. Let Dr. Rufino Gutierrez and his team give you the manual therapy you need. Soft tissue massages, joint manipulation and mobilization, trigger point dry needling, cupping, plus much more. Visit Top Grade Therapy today, 2801 West Expressway 83, Suite 210 in McAllen, or call 956-854-4364. It's not physical therapy if it's not top grade. No.
Hell yeah, man. Top grade physical therapy. Not only is he a really good friend of ours, but he does a hell of a job, man. I've been there when he's working on patients. And I mean, they give some of the best care. Any kind of pain that you have, even if it's like headaches, for nerves, for joints, anything, it's hands-on. Other physical therapists, you go and they just kind of send you somewhere to like talk to some guy and you're over there in the corner messing around. Nah, they get hands-on with you, and definitely need to go check them out, boys.
Hey, Ron, but remember, not physical therapy if it's not top grade.
Hell yeah. All right, thanks, Rufy. So let's get into the slate, boys. Y'all take it away.
All right. Well, Sunday session, here we go. Week 6, Thursday, first game of the week. Unfortunately, another snoozer for us. I mean, 1 touchdown scored in the game. I think it was, or 2 maybe. 12-7 was the final. Boys, let's not be too long on this. What did y'all think of this game?
Snoozer, Thursday night football again, coming in short. Thankfully, we got a better matchup this coming week. We got the Saints and Cardinals, so got to be looking forward to that. And shout out Brian Robinson, scored a touchdown after being shot a couple times. So
hey, many men.
Shout out to him.
You know what I mean, many men.
Yeah, Brian Robinson was probably the most popular anytime touchdown scorer for Thursday night. The game where there was only, 1 touchdown scored, 2 touchdowns scored. So
2, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Thursday night games have become, unwatchable. Some people don't even have Amazon Prime, so they were already unwatchable. But the Commanders and the Bears, I think, two teams that we can just count out. No playoffs for them. They'll be, a top 10, top 5 pick in the draft this coming year.
At least there was some drama at the end with the Darnell Mooney catch
at the goal line.
That he had it initially, but I think that bobble he actually landed out of the end zone. So unfortunate break for the Bears there, but another snoozer on offense for both teams.
Ron, anything on Thursday night's game?
Hell no, let's just move on. Like Ben's best friend Big Perk says, we can move the hell on.
It was a pass for us, no bets.
We had no plays for Thursday night. I mean, maybe if we had plays, it might have been more enjoyable. But even then, I doubt it.
No, that's a hard pass for me.
Hard pass for us. All right, let's look at the slate for this week, Roland.
Yeah, we got a couple of good games here. Some short lines all across the league. Injury concerns, which we'll get to. Coming in, some news that broke last night, actually, with a couple of players that we'll get to here with the Colts and Jags game. But looking forward to the slate. As we all know, we got the Cowboys-Eagles game tonight and the Bills-Chiefs game this afternoon. So 2 very big games, big implications when you're talking about the division and seeding.
Anything that stands out to you,
on this?
Yeah.
Like I said, man, it's big game hunting today. That Bills and Chiefs game. The Bills, we did a little bit of a look ahead, and we had the Bills at -2 when we did the look ahead. The line jumped out to -3. So If you took it earlier in the week, you got under the field goal. If they win by a field goal, you'll push now. But I think it's going to be a double-digit win for the Bills. Big revenge spot from losing the way they did last year in the playoffs. I think they take this game way more serious than the Chiefs do. So looking forward to that in the Sunday nighter, like you all talked about, man. I think that's gonna tell us if the Eagles' offense is as legit as everybody says they are or not.
Potential playoff matchup here with Bills and Chiefs, like Ben said. So it's a big game for them. Ron, who do you have in that game? Who do you think?
Where?
Bills and Chiefs.
Man, I was torn. It's hard to go against Mahomes at home, but I went ahead and rode the Bills just because the Chiefs defense was so bad last week, and they almost lost or should have lost against the Raiders. But another quick game that stands out to me are the Bengals and the Saints. I think that the Bengals need to right the ship, and they need to do it soon. They're under 500. They're going, to play the Taysom Hill Saints. The line is spread. I'm sorry. The line is short there on the spread. So that's going to be another game for my side piece, Bengals, Joey B, and the boys to right the ship.
All right. Well, let's get into some of the weather, Roland. I know you posted this one. What's the weather looking like today?
I'm on mute there. Sorry. But not much going on with the weather, honestly. Just posting this just in case anything's out there for people to keep in mind. I mean, there's some high winds in Kansas City, but I doubt that's going to be anything to stop these offenses from putting points on the board. Right. But just a couple things to look at.
Shit, as far as the weather, it looks like Ben's got the best seat in the house for the. How's that Austin, Texas weather treating you guys out there, man? You're on mute.
Yeah, my bad. It's nice. Yeah, me and Roland are on the same location, so I said I'll go outside, Roland. I'll enjoy Mother Nature. Me and Mother Nature are really close. We are one. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nomás falta el blonde.
Shut up. Pause. Canceled. All right, man. Roland, keep this train on the tracks here, Roland, for us.
Yeah, let's move on to probably one of the most important slides that we go over every week. That's the injury report. Again, middle of the year, there's going to be some carnage, and there's actually some backfields that have been affected, not just the starter. We got the first two names on the list, or first two groups of players here: Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, James Conner, and Darrell Williams, both out for their respective teams, the Colts and the Cardinals. So we got some third stringers looking to step up, like Eno Benjamin for the Cardinals, and I'm blanking out on the guy's first name, but Jackson for the Colts, probably going to step up and be the starter there. Colts dealing with some injuries. Then I put some defenses here just to keep in mind when you're betting, or if you have some fantasy players on the opposite teams here. 49ers defense looks like they might have 6 players out, including Bosa, the leader of their pass rush. And the Steelers, they got 4 players out, and a couple of them in their secondary, including Minkah Fitzpatrick. Where I want to drive the conversation is with the guy pictured, Jonathan Taylor, number 1 pick in most drafts. How disappointed are you guys with him? Is he going to be able to turn the year around? Are you looking at it as a year lost for this guy?
I feel like a CMC owner from 2 years ago or a year ago. That's how I feel right now. I mean, I expected another. He's the best player in the NFL. I drafted him. It's a lock, bro. Honestly, he's not even tradable for me at this point. It's not a good look.
Ben, what do you think of your boy? Did you draft Taylor on any of your squads?
No, I had the second pick in one draft, and luckily Taylor got taken first. Not that CMC has had a much better year, but it hasn't been the greatest either. But yeah, I mean, Jonathan Taylor owners, if you were trying to sell him, I mean, it's tough to sell right now, especially because people want to tend to sell high, and right now he's injured. You don't know if he's going to play, if he's not going to play. And to be honest, I mean, the Colts suck. That offense isn't the best thing out there. So yeah, it's tough times for Jonathan Taylor owners. I think you kind of just got to stick it out and hope things turn around.
I wanted to touch on Cam Akers. Obviously, I'm not a Rams fan, but we have a chat, and you guys were saying that he might be done for the year. Any news on the Cam Akers situation?
The only thing I've heard with Cam Akers is it was like a mental situation, like a mental health break. So, there's no timetable for a mental health break. You get injured from the ankle, they tell you 2 to 3 weeks, whatever it is. But the mental health break, you might be just out. I mean, we've seen this with other receivers what's his name? Calvin
Yeah.
Ridley, who took like a mental health break, I think, as well.
He did, but I think this might be more of a broken ego thing. I think him and Darrell Henderson were 1A, 1B in the backfield, and McVay said whoever did the most with their opportunity was going to be the guy that got the carries, and pretty much has been split the whole year. I don't think Cam Akers has taken over a single game, maybe one that he's actually taken over and gotten the bulk of the carries. But I was reading a report this morning that last week that he might have played his last, or he might have taken his last snaps for the Rams. I think this might be long term. I think there was some internal strife with maybe some decision making that was made regarding that backfield. So, I mean, I understand where he's coming from. He's coming back from an Achilles injury. Kudos to him for, he came back, I think, in the same season. He got hurt in the preseason, came back last year. So props to him. But from what I've seen, he looks like he's lost a little bit, or it's taking him a little bit while to get there still. But yeah, I think he's done with the Rams. So shout out to Darrell Henderson owners.
Yeah, I got him. All right, so what do we have next, boys? Because
real quick, on T. Higgins, I know T. Higgins, Buddy was already saying that he is playing today. So T. Higgins from questionable to he will be playing. Now, he was suited up last week. I know that was a player that pissed off a lot of people last week. He played, and then, a couple plays in, he just sat out. So he put up a goose egg for a lot of people. But T. Higgins is playing today.
You heard it here first. T. Higgins, well, maybe not first, but one of the first ones. Ben's breaking the news over there.
Yeah, and as far as Tua,
Ben's breaking news, we just came up with a new segment.
Yeah, and Tua. So Tua is out this week, but they already said he will most likely be back next week. So I think next week we can expect Tua back with the Dolphins.
Nice.
And another concussion, Chris Olave, he's gonna be out more than likely.
Oh, your
today.
boy?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah. He's out. Good
so
call,
he had that concussion tutty last week, so he's out now.
Him, Thomas, and Jameis Winston all probably still out. So some Taysom Hill and Andy Dalton love.
A lot of Kamara today.
Shit, Bengals better win.
All right, we get to the portion of the fantasy mailbag, and we have a question already by Diego. He's saying Lockett, Jackson, or Cooper.
What Jackson is he talking about?
Yeah, what Jackson?
Is he talking about Jackson from the Colts, maybe? Because I know he's been dealing with some Naheem Hines from prior conversations with him.
Oh, maybe like in a flex spot, Diego, or
probably.
I'll just start this off because we're gonna get into it. I'll just cover it now. I like Lockett. I know Roland's really been a fan of him. I think you have him on your squads, and he's been like low key tearing it up, man. And he kills it against Arizona. He had 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2 games last year against them. In 2020, he had 200 yards and 3 TDs in 1 single game. And in the last 6 games against Arizona, in the last 4 games, he's had 6 touchdowns. So this guy's the Arizona Cardinals killer. You definitely need to start Lockett in your roster today. Do it, set it, and forget it, bro. He's put up 13 points since week 2, every week consistently.
Yeah, I like Lockett out of all those guys there, even though Cooper has shown to have rapport with Brissett. I think that's going to be a little bit more of a defensive game. So give me Lockett and what we expect to be a game filled with points, Seattle, Arizona.
Yeah, same. That nothing really respectable about that Cardinals defense. So I agree. I'll go with Lockett there. The Seahawks have shown that they can score points. So, might as well plug in Lockett.
Yeah, there was like a crazy Geno stat, right? And he's like one of the best fantasy quarterbacks this year or something, like usage rate or per quarter QBR. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, points per game. He's up there. He's like the 5th ranked quarterback right now, something like
top
that.
Top 5. Here's Louis.
Start Higbee. Tight end Higbee or tight end Goddard. I think those are 2 really good options. Both top 10 tight ends. However, I've become a big fan of Tyler Higbee this season with how bland and plain the St. Louis Cardinals or the LA Rams offense looks. Chinga. The LA Rams offense, it looks bad. There's not really much big play. The passes are either going to Cooper Kupp or they're going to Higbee. I like the Higbee start, especially because Goddard's playing a real tough defense. The Rams are 10-point favorites today, so maybe Higbee gets in the end zone today.
Nice, man. All of a sudden, the fantasy questions are just pouring in here, boys.
Give me Higbee. Give me Higbee, too.
Who do you like there? Higbee rolling? For sure. Consensus? All right. All right, Mondo. Let's go to Mondo's here. Wide receiver 1, Lamb. Wide receiver 2, Hollywood Brown. Flex Sutton. But I have Mike Williams on the bench. Mike Will. Do I sit Lamb for Williams with Lamb being questionable? Who
How
wants to
about
take
you
this?
sit Sutton and take your fandom to the side, dog? Like, yo, hey, yeah, I know you're a Broncos fan, but I mean, I understand sitting CD Lamb since Darius Slay is probably going to be on him, and Slay has done a good number on wide receivers. But the way that Lamb has been playing, I don't think that you sit him. The Broncos offense has looked anemic. I say you sit Sutton, start Mike Williams for sure.
Man, I might actually, there is some credence to the thought on benching CD Lamb. There is a little bit of credence to that thought, just because, like Ben mentioned, Darius Slay has been a pretty good shutdown corner this year, and he's done a good number. And Cooper Rush hasn't been the best passer. I know the Cowboys have been winning games, but it hasn't been because Cooper Rush is, killing it out there, or putting up Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen numbers. They've been kind of, doing it with the defense and, just taking the points as they come. So I would actually, man, it's hard because, Lamb is a wide receiver 1 for his team. I would bench Lamb though, because I think Slay's going to do a number on him. And I'm on the Eagles side of this game, despite being a Cowboys fan. So.
I like it, man. Everything you guys are saying is absolutely right. Ben, I think he does need to sit Sutton, and it's tougher for Roland to say to sit Lamb because, I mean, we all know that Roland's a Cowboys fan, just like we all are. But you definitely need to have Hollywood Brown in there, and you definitely need to have Mike Will. I mean, every week Mike Will just does it over and over again, man. So Mike Will needs to be there. He's one of Herbie's only targets right now, with Keenan Allen either being out or hurt all the time. So Mike Will, definitely put him in your lineup, and hopefully we answered your question. Who else do we got here, boys?
Yes, we got another Higbee tight end question. We got Higbee or Ertz in a standard league. That's another good question. I'd go with Ertz here. I think he might get in the end zone against the Seattle defense. Going to be a lot of points. And I trust that offense a little bit more than the Rams right now.
Yeah, I think that's a 50-50. I think you're good with whichever guy you start. I mean, I know that you want – I don't think you can lose starting either guy, so I'm not even going to pick one.
Yeah, same. I mean, I would go with Higbee just because I think he's been a little bit more consistent. He gets a little bit more looks. And I'm not going to talk about the meme that Justin sent on our group chat, but we all know the color. Never mind, man. I'm not even going to go there. We all know the receivers that Stafford likes to target. I'm just going to say that. I'll just leave it there.
There was another question right here. Dalvin Cook, Kamara, Jeff Wilson, or Kenneth Walker, who gets left on the bench, 2 running back spots, and the flex. So this is a really good question. I mean, you got 2 guys that you invested a lot of draft stock in Dalvin Cook and Kamara, usually auto starts for the most part. You finally got that good week from Kamara last week. With everybody out, I think Kamara has to be in your lineup. Dalvin Cook's got to be in your lineup, and you're between Jeff Wilson or Kenneth Walker. Jeff Wilson and the Niners playing against the Falcons. You got Kenneth Walker against the Cards. Kenneth Walker is that new toy that everybody just picked up on the waiver wire and is plugging right in at running back 2. So to have him as a flex option here, I'm going Kenneth Walker over Jeff Wilson, boys.
Nice. Roland, what you got on this? This is a hell of a question.
Yeah, I'm going over Kenneth Walker, or I'm going with Kenneth Walker as well. He's actually going to be in this next segment that we get to here in a little bit. I was a believer in him pre-draft just because I liked him coming out of college, and Rashad Penny always gets hurt. So I drafted Walker just waiting and hoping that I wouldn't need to drop him because he probably wasn't going to play. So it's like going into one of those things like how long can you hold on to him for something to happen for him to actually like come into the starting spot. So thankfully it happened sooner rather than later. So Walker here.
All right, cool. I think we have one more before we go. Justin, you want to take care of this one? Kareem Hunt or A.J. Dillon? Oh, did we lose Justin? There he is, my boy.
Justin, do you have any opinion here? A.J. Dillon or Kareem Hunt? We want your insight because...
I don't know. Ben, take it over. Take over
Justin's got nothing to say on this one. All right, so Kareem Hunt or AJ Dillon. It's been pretty tough for AJ Dillon. I was a big AJ Dillon believer preseason. I was buying the AJ Dillon stocks, but the Packers offense, in totality, has just not been what it used to be. Not Aaron Rodgers, not Aaron Jones, not AJ Dillon. So I'm gonna go with Kareem Hunt here, and you know what the Browns like to do. They like to run the ball. You got to hope Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb is that 30-yard touchdown guy, but once they get inside the 10, they do tend to have Kareem Hunt in there. He's just got to get in the end zone. You know what I mean? So give me Kareem Hunt here to find the end zone today.
Yeah, same, man. Go. You're good.
This one's tough. I'm gonna go AJ Dillon just because I think the Patriots are a good defense against running backs. That's probably I want to say a little bit towards their strength. There's a little bit weaker the pass defense, so I'd like them to keep Kareem Hunt in check. Give me AJ Dillon. I think he'll get in the end zone. This total for the Jets and Packers game is pretty high. It's like 45.5 last time I checked, so should be some points in there. Give me AJ Dillon here, just for the sake of going against Ben too.
All right, I'll be the deciding vote here. I'll go with Kareem. I'll go with Kareem Hunt just because he has, in my opinion, Mondo did say PPR league. I think he has more opportunities to catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's a guy who can make people miss and get some yak. So I would take Kareem Hunt over AJ Dillon here. But I like this, Roland. Where are we going with this? Put me in. Your must starts of the week.
He's on mute.
Must start time.
Who's our must start? We do this every week. Hit or miss. Ben's been pretty good here, so I'll let Ben take the lead on his must start.
Yeah.
Oh, he just popped one.
I just popped one. But let's
Cheers,
lead
boys.
off. Let's lead off with J.K. Dobbins, man. So J.K. Dobbins has been a guy that many people did draft early. Some people drafted 5th, 6th round, but he's been injured. We've been waiting for him to get on the field. He's finally gotten on the field, and he's been the beneficiary of some easy red zone touchdowns. Had a 2-touchdown game against the Bills where he put up 20 points. Last week, he didn't do too much. I expect a bigger workload for J.K. Dobbins today against the Giants. J.K. Dobbins is getting in the end zone. I think he's a good RB2 flex spot. So give me J.K. Dobbins as my must start this week.
I like it. Roland, go. I know you touched on yours, but
yeah. My guy against Kenneth Walker III becomes an instant starter in his team. Rashad Penny went down. He showed us what he can do last week, busting off a long run for a touchdown, ended with like 14 or 15 fantasy points in PPR. This guy's a do-it-all back out of Michigan State, can catch the ball out of the backfield, really only has DJ Dallas to worry about, and he gets a good matchup against the Cardinals. So ready to load up Kenneth Walker. This Seahawks offense has been fun to watch first couple of weeks, and I like Walker to be the benefactor of some of that.
It's crazy that you say that, right? The Seahawks offense has been fun to watch. Everybody thought with Geno Smith and, the first year without Russ, it was just going to fall apart. You had the offseason trouble with DK, and they put it together pretty well. I'm going to go with Stevenson versus the Browns for me. We saw what he did last week. 25 carries, 161 yards. He lit up your fantasy football scoreboard without a touchdown. He had 2 catches for 14 yards also. This is more of a play to me where it's a play against the Browns as well. They allow the 4th most fantasy points to running backs at almost 29, with the other running back, Harris, getting hurt last week. I mean, he's the only guy there in the backfield. We know Belichick with his 3rd-string backup quarterbacks is just run the ball. Don't make it too fancy on the offensive side. So I think he's a definite put me in, let me spin, must start of the week.
I like it, bro. I like it. I like that we all went running backs. This is something that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Prior we just send in our player for our must start. It just all ended up being running backs. If you have these guys on your team, put them in your lineup, all right? Don't leave these guys on your bench.
And it's crazy because we were talking about the transition to fantasy going to wide receiver heavy, and now we all have running backs as our must start.
But look, like these are all running backs that you could have drafted really late in the draft.
Yep.
And now they're all must starts. They're all like for sure RB2s. In some cases, some would consider Stevenson an RB1, based on the opportunity that he's going to have in New England. So that's why we're talking about the change from, the 0 running back league, because all of these guys Most of these guys weren't the starter the first game of the year, and here they are now as the starters.
And what happened to the starter? They got hurt. So I mean, if you're one owner of one of those starters, hopefully you have one of these guys, or if not, you're scrambling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before we, I know we're ending this and getting to the next slide, but let's touch on anybody want to touch on Josh's question? I don't want to leave our boy Josh hanging here. Rams defense or Ravens? He says the Rams against the Panthers and the Ravens against the Giants. I'm gonna go with Rams straight off the bat just because the Panthers
No
are
Baker.
absolute turmoil. They're fired the coach, blah blah blah. We know the story. So that's Josh. That's me. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Hey, Justin, why do you say no Baker? Like if that's like, oh shit, watch
Because
out.
if
Baker, no
Baker,
Baker, you're starting.
PJ
if
Walker
Baker is their
pretty
starting
bad.
quarterback and he's bad, imagine what the backup looks like.
Yeah,
Easy
PJ Walker's
pick.
pretty terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an easy play also by the Rams. It's just like no Baker. I was like, damn, you giving Baker that much credit?
No,
cuz?
it's just that's how bad Baker is. Imagine how bad the backup's got to be.
I feel you. The what was it? AFL legend, for the half season that they had.
Yeah, I think too. The Rams need to right the ship, like I talked about with the Bengals. They're gonna come in.
Yeah, they do.
They have a shitty ass team. If they're gonna go balls to the wall, they're gonna do big things. It's gonna be this week. So
They're supposed to be in their Super Bowl window still, so they can't be playing like this if they're in that window.
The Panthers are starting PJ Walker, so hopefully that means a lot of checkdowns to CMC today, man.
All right, so that was pretty much the fantasy portion of the show. Roland, take us into what we're going to get into. Oh, no, we have the flex zone.
We got the flex zone.
Sorry.
We got the flex zone. Again, this is a new segment. We've been doing this past couple of weeks. My guy, again, this is due to kind of injury or just, becoming the starter, just playing the moment. It's Darrell Henderson becomes a starter with the Rams. I think they'll have their way with the Panthers today. 10-point spread. They should get up early. Hopefully he's one of those touchdowns, and he's part of them running out the clock towards the end and racking up some yards. So give me Henderson.
I like it. Mine was a Lockett. I touched on him earlier. We already know what's going on in Seattle. Geno being Geno.
Geno's resurgence. Let's call it what it is.
Since we touched on it, Justin and Ben, do you have anything on these flex guys? Do you agree with our opinion here, boys, or are we going somewhere else with the?
No, these are easy to agree with. We've seen Geno's, his revitalization of his career, and Henderson winning out the spot. Akers, like Roland said, possibly done in LA. So these are good picks for the flex.
They wrote Geno off, but he didn't write back.
Dude, that's an all-time quote. All-time quote. Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, I like them both. I like the opportunities that Henderson's going to have. 10-point spread in that game, like Roland said. So if he doesn't fall into the end zone, it's going to be a pretty big letdown. Would you rather go with like a guy like Kenneth Walker though, Roland, or Henderson? If you had both options on your bench.
Okay. If I had both options on my bench between Kenneth Walker and that's a good question. Honestly, as crazy as this sounds, I might go Kenneth Walker just because their offense has looked a little bit better, and I think there's going to be some more points in that game with the Cardinals.
Hey, the Kenneth Walker might be, he was on a lot of waiver wires. I know Roland said he drafted him and held on, but he's like a player like James Cook, running back for the Bills. People drafted him, but they're tired of waiting. They dropped him already. Kenneth Walker might be that midseason or that, that waiver wire pickup that just turns into a gem if he can stay healthy with Seattle. I agree. I would go Kenneth Walker over Henderson, but, it's a tough question with both guys having a full workload.
I just love the way you look right now, Ben. Like you're.
The sun's shining on him.
The sun is shining on you. Like you look fantastic, pal. I just have to get that out there.
Shout out Gabe. He agrees with his brother. Shout out.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker way more explosive. We saw that big run last week, so yeah, I agree. What do we got next, boys?
All right, we're gonna go over to last week's scoreboard for Ron. He had Dolphins -3, 49ers -6.5, and Eagles -5.
Oh yeah, Ben is definitely a vibe right now. Ben is definitely a vibe. Yeah, so I went 1 and 2. I mean, that's pretty much it.
You got on the scoreboard.
Thanks, Roland. Thank you. I appreciate that, fam. Yeah, but
let's move on to this week, though, Ron. What do you got?
So I got Vikings -3. I called it with Roland on the show. When did we do a show, boys?
On Monday. Yeah. I was at -1.5.
Was it? Was it that?
Yeah, it was -1, bro.
No shit.
All Vikings right. -1 when we did that early look.
All right, so we were on that line early. I'm taking them again -3. My Cowboys, it's 6.5, but I bought it to 7. I think they keep it close. I don't know if they go in and win, but it should be a hell of a game, division game, night game. Philly, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rugged. Philly didn't impress me last week. They've won. They are undefeated, of course, but they haven't really been blowing out teams. They could have lost last week against Arizona. Clock management, missed a field goal there. So I'm going with the Cowboys to keep it close to +7 and rounding it out with the Ravens -5. Lamar's going to just show up. Lamar and, the boys over there. Anything under 6 to 7 with the Ravens, I feel is always a solid play.
You're not buying the Giants 4-1 start, Ron?
Negative, Ghost Rider. I'm not.
All right.
They've played a lot of shitty teams, man.
I feel you.
All right. Well, this is Ben's cards from last week. He had the Bills -14, Jaguars -7, and he had a teaser or a parlay of Eagles cards over 49.
No, it was just
a play.
over.
Sorry,
Yeah, it was just a regular over. And that one, man, 30 points in the first half and only 1 touchdown in the second half. Pretty horrible second half between the Eagles and the Cards. The Jaguars, what the hell was I thinking buying into the Jaguars, bro? And of course it would be the Texans that burned me last week too. I mean,
the Texans own the Jaguars. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
That's facts. Hey, Damian Pierce, another guy, late draft stock. Shout out Damian Pierce. It's your bye week, boy. Get healthy. We're going to need you. We're going to need you the rest of the year.
You got that Pierce jersey under that Allen jersey, my boy?
Hey, no, I got the Verdes jersey. We're going to that Austin FC game after this. But on to this week's card, man. I feel like Justin last year taking the Cowboys every week. I'm taking the Bills every week, baby.
In my pay, cuz.
We're going to ride it till the wheels fall off. -3 in KC. We talked about the early line. We got 2 earlier in the week. For the sake of the show, for the sake of everybody watching, 3 is what's available. We're taking 3. Like I said, big revenge game, and then we're going over to the Vikings, another game that we talked about on the early look. The Dolphins have their third stringer out there. Last week, the Jets had their way with them. He did have a full week of practice, but with Mostert in the backfield, I just don't expect Miami to have it in them. They'll get Tua back next week and maybe get back on track. Give me the Vikings -3, and then I'm going to round it off with the Cards -2.5. Taking a bunch of short favorites. Cards against the Seahawks in Seattle. I know I had the Cards to miss the playoffs, but this is a good spot. This is a game I had them winning, in the preseason. So we're going to take them here and expect them to win.
I like it, man. So smooth.
Appreciate it.
Smooth.
Mr. Moneybags himself, Roland. Take us through your card last week.
Moneybag rolling, man. Forget Moneybag, yo.
Getting on a little bit of a roll here. Hit my teaser 2 weeks in a row. Gone 2-1 2 weeks in a row. So I'll take that. Dolphins -3 spurned me, but hit it on Patriots -3. The Titans PK against the Commanders, and my teaser Bengals +10.5 and 49ers plus half a point. Pretty good there. So let's go on to week 6, though. Same format, 3 picks and a teaser for you guys. Vikings -3, like my pod mates over here. We were on that early. Third stringer in for the Dolphins. It's a tricky spot because every time you travel to Miami, you're a little bit worried, but I still like the Vikings to get it done here. They still got that explosiveness. And like Ben said, Miami should not have enough firepower to keep up with the Vikings today. So Vikings -3. Hope we all hit it for the pod. Bengals -3. This one's just a play on all the injuries and the disappointment that the Saints have been this year in general. Another team that people had high hopes for to maybe compete in the South, get a playoff spot with Jameis Winston because he looked good last year before his injury. Not the same case this year. Like Ron said, Bengals got to right the ship. Important game for both teams, but give me the Bengals -3.
Yeah.
And Cards -2.5. Like Ben, Cards probably the best road team in NFL history. I can't remember the last time they've lost a road game. They went like 8-1 last year, 8-0 on the road, something stupid like that. Off to the same thing again. Good spot for them. Must win for the Cards. Seahawks dealing with some injuries, like we've mentioned, and they have the league's worst defense. So expect Kyler Murray to go off today. Expect Marquise Brown to go off today. Give me the Cards big, -2.5. And then my teaser, 7-point teaser. I'm going to tease through 0. Don't really like doing that, but I like the Ravens +1.5 and the Pats +9.5. Just missing the 10, but I'm still clearing 3 and I'm still clearing 6 and 7. So give me Pats +9.5 against the Browns. The Browns are injured on defense. No Clowney, no Ward. So give me the Pats to get it done. Give me some more Bailey Zappi for one more week, and hopefully
Zappe.
I'm sitting here next week in the same spot.
Hell yeah, man. Justin, I mean, Roland, you've definitely been on the roll. Let's keep your money train going for sure. And I think that kind of wraps it. Oh, there you are, my boy.
Roland was shouting out, all of the Cardinals offense, and a guy that I almost made my must start, Eno Benjamin, another, popular waiver wire pickup with James Conner out. If you've got Eno Benjamin, he's got to be in your lineup today against Seattle, a team giving up, 30 points a game. So the whole Cardinals offense should eat today.
Hey, and the pod had one more play last week. Justin had a teaser. It cashed. Justin, what was your teaser again?
It was 2-team teaser, 7 points. Bills -7, Vikings -1.5.
Easy. The Vikings are a little close, got a little scary.
Yeah,
but
at the end.
Still cash.
I do have a teaser for today. It's not like my favorite thing to give out because I did also tease through 0. I got Ravens +4.5. I got Niners +6, and I got Chargers +5.5.
On Monday night. All right.
Okay. 3-team, 10-point teaser for Justin. We're gonna get the slide going. This is his 3rd teaser in a row he's given out. So we're gonna start keeping track of that for the pod.
For sure, man. I think that's it. Hit us up on our Instagram. We Talking About Sports 1. We've been putting up reels lately, videos, stories, and all that stuff. Breaking news or just shit that we think is funny. So follow us there, and then you can also follow us on Facebook as well. And anything else, boys? Before
that Devontae Adams clip did some numbers too, right? When y'all posted and emailed
12K on Insta, another few on Facebook. So Ron, good looking out with that one, bro.
Yeah, man, sure. and shout out to Roofy too for sponsoring the show today. We'll play his thing one more time on the way out. For people that weren't here in the beginning, but big shout out to him, and y'all go see him. Like we said, camarada. Anytime that we're messed up, we make our way out there and see him, and he's a big dude, so if you're a big dude like me, you need big people to work on you. Roofy's got your back.
Yeah, here it is, man. One more time.
Get in top grade shape with Top Grade Physical Therapy. Let Dr. Rufino Gutierrez and his team give you the manual therapy you need. Soft tissue massages, joint manipulation and mobilization, trigger point dry needling, cupping, plus much more. Visit Top Grade Therapy today, 2801 West Expressway 83, Suite 210 in McAllen, or call 956-854-4364. It's not physical therapy if it's not top grade. Get in top
therapy if it's not top grade. Top grade. Hey, Roland's wearing the Top Grade Physical Therapy colors today too, man. You look great in that green and black, Roland. I will say that, my friend.
All right, guys. Also for this week, we do got a look ahead pod coming this week. Roland, is that tomorrow? More than likely. Okay, and then we all have been waiting for this MMA Tap Hour. The big pay-per-view card is here. Oliveira, Islam, loaded card. Me and Ben will get together sometime this week to cover that for you all as well.
Yeah, we're gonna and we might have to get Josh or Roland on. We're gonna have to make it a packed MMA show.
Yes,
the whole card is stacked. We're not just gonna be going over the main card or the top 3 fights. We got a lot. I'm calling him to work next Saturday. That's how serious this card is.
I love that.
It's gonna be an early card, 9 a.m. start. Main event going off at 2 since it's in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, y'all look out for that podcast. It's gonna be a big Saturday next week, boys.
It might be the MMA 3-hour tap hour. I don't know. You guys can get pretty crazy.
Yeah, so
I think that's it for us, guys. Enjoy y'all Sundays. Everybody in Austin, enjoy the game.
Yeah, Roland,
go Verde.
For sure, man. Go Verde. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Share. Peace. That's it.